Hello everyone, and welcome to another analysis video for a new month, the month of September 2022. My name is Dima, and as with last month, I will be going over some more trading opportunities and analyzing the market, giving you a top-down, larger time frame view of the markets for this week, for this month. So I'm going to be going through some opportunities that I've found, some high probability setups, high probability scenarios, I should say, where the market is flowing. Remembering that this is the bigger picture starting on the monthly time frame, looking at the next 4 weeks and where the market is likely to move towards. So what we'll be doing is I'll be showing you the charts that I picked out, and what you can do is use the analysis to combine with your trading methodology and your risk management to look to enter trades and make the most of the flow of the market and the movements and volatility that we might see this month in September. So I'm not going to babble on for much longer. The main point is just to give you an overview here to show you some possibilities and high probabilities in terms of where the market's going. And August was last month. That was the quiet month of the year, summer holiday. September, everybody's back, so we should see some more volatility coming to September. Okay, so without further ado, let me start with the euro dollar. What we can see on the euro dollar here is we've broke this major swing, major low right here, broke through with a lot of weakness, and we're continuing lower, lower, lower. And September, expecting that to continue to the downside. If we zoom out a bit more, you can see here to the left right here, we've got this little swing here, so that could be the next potential target to move towards too. So we're heading lower, 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 and as we're doing that, if I go to the weekly time frame, then we've got another swing here, so we could see a continuation and a creation of another swing and continue to the downside. We are at the 1.00 significant figure, but it doesn't look like we're holding that anymore, so we could see some more weakness in the euro, and I wouldn't be surprised to see another week closing bearish. All right, so that is the euro. You actually can see a similar thing on the other dollar pairs, so Aussie dollar, pound dollar, similar picture happening. So continued, very, very clear to see continued weakness. So I would expect to see a little bit more weakness within September. What happens towards the end of the month, we'll have to wait and see. So unless something changes, so unless we have, let me draw you a line here, my invalidation point where I would change the bias and I would no longer be looking to short, but I would actually be looking to be buying, would be this point right here, this high of this candle where the momentum left, where the market created its momentum. So if we breach this level, then we could possibly be looking to the upside, and the short bias would not be valid anymore. So that is the major pairs. You could have a look on the others as well to show you a similar picture. Okay, that's euro dollar. Next one, let me go and look at CAD Swiss. Now, a bit of an unusual pair perhaps for some of you. However, I picked this out because we have some nice monthly picture going on here. So first of all, there's weakness in the Swiss franc. And then also at the same time, if I draw a line here, we've got a very, very obvious trend line here that was broken. We retrace back down to it, and now we are bouncing away. You can see that we are now creating bullish candles, and with the break of this previous month, we are definitely looking to head higher. If I look on the weekly, we can see that here was this level that the market ran through but did not break lower, and it actually reversed, and now we are heading higher and possibly to, I'm gonna draw the upside here, and then the first target would be this swing higher right here. So expecting that bullishness to continue to the upside. So that is the CAD Swiss here. If we see some bullishness on oil, which I will go over in a minute, then that would add to the bullishness on the CAD Swiss, because CAD is tied to oil. So the higher the oil price, the stronger the CAD currency. And now let's look at Brent Oil. So Brent Oil and crude oil are similarly tied. Right, so I'm going to start with the month again on oil here. Let me just clear up these lines so that we start fresh. Did look at that last month, but let's do it again. So I'm going to mark horizontal line for where we broke through the market up here, and I would look for the market to come back and return to this level. So perhaps a bit more weakness. We got bearishness, 3 bearish months, and looking for that to continue and break the previous low of the month, potentially, before looking for any reversal. So let's put a fib. Let's put on a fib here from this low to the high, and we can see that we have almost tagged the 61 level. So if we get there, and that will be a bit lower, will be that line over here, and this matching confluence would signal a possible buy. But until then, I'll be looking for more sells, more downside on oil there. So that's oil for the month. Now let's go and look at gold. It's got a nice little variety here. So again, yeah, this is something we marked last month. So we have this horizontal line here that you can see. We've got the market hit these lows, and we can see that we haven't actually bounced very far. So what's happened is we bounced and then we rejected again, we bounced and then came back down again, and previous month closed very bearish. So we could see that continuation of that bearishness, more selling, more downside towards this green line. So it doesn't look like this line, this level here will hold. So I'm looking for that to be broken, because otherwise we would have had a nice shift away. So a little bit more downside to the 1670 level. So a bit more downside there with gold here. So we've got this swing. Can draw a trend line if it's your thing. Let's draw a trend line. You can see the weeks, how the weekly played out. There's an obvious trend line. So perhaps we could get another retracement here, maybe on the daily, will be more visible, and then we'll create another swing. We had this swing daily here, maybe another swing, and then back down to the low. Right, so that's gold. Now let me look at S&P. Okay, I'm going to zoom out to the monthly again. Let's have a look what we can see. So we had this very big run up, and now we are starting to create new lower lows, lower highs, and swings and weakness in the market. Very clear weakness to see. So first of all, I'm going to draw some levels again. I can see an obvious level right here we're hitting. And now that we have not really held this level, we've had this sideways movement for the last few months, then I'll be looking for this level to be taken out. Now we do have as well, let's go to the can draw a trend line here if you like. You can see this very clear channel that has been formed. And now we are in this downside momentum, and you can see last month closed bearish, retraced, made this swing, retraced, and closed very bearish. So I'll be looking for a continuation of that bearishness on the S&P to come down to this level 3640. Now if I go down to the weekly, let's look at a bit more detail. We can see we had this swing, we broke lower, so I'll be looking for a swing on, could look at the daily if you like. So we had, here we go, we had this daily swing. Now we're gonna look for another daily swing and then continue to the downside, depending of course on what time frame you're trading. You may not be doing on the daily, it could be weekly, it could be 4 hour. You have to align it with your method, your strategy. Okay. Yeah, so here in S&P, looking for a much bigger move down to the downside. It does look pretty bearish at the moment. You have this very clear to see these massive down moves and then gradually petering up, but then collapsing, moving very quickly down, and every rally gets rejected. So that's the S&P here. So we've got that bigger outlook, much bigger outlook, looking for that continuation on next month and maybe even the following month after that. Yeah, not looking good for the stock market here. Okay, finally I will do Bitcoin. So more and more people pay attention to Bitcoin here. Yeah, let me just delete some of these lines that we had before. Right, so I was looking at this one, this level right here, as a possible target. We've got this very bearish momentum going on. The month of July, which was right here, this month closed bearish, previous month, and the month before that, sorry, August closed bearish, and the month before that was an inside candle, also not much strength in this. So I'll be looking for continuation to the downside on Bitcoin towards this green line here, which is the 14,200 level, and just call it 14,000 just to be easy. And yeah, there's no sign here of any reversal, no sign here of the market moving higher. It's just been a sideways movement, and if anything, last month closed weak. So let's look on the, let's look here on the weekly. So there it is, the weekly, 7 days. On the weekly, we can see that we have this potential swing. There was a swing here, high swing high, and then this potential is another swing high, looking to move to the downside. And with the downside, you can see previous weeks closed bearish. So if I go to the daily, then I'll be looking for another swing on the daily to continue to the downside. And that is the outlook for the month on Bitcoin. So really, it's moving sideways, but I'm more leaning towards the bearish side because we don't have any upside, no big candles, just like you see this big red candle. We don't have a big green candle, no big bullish candles. We'd want to see something like this to really confirm and push higher, and really push higher past this swing right here that you see. That will be a break of this swing structure, and that would indicate more buying momentum, more a high probability of buying than selling. So until that happens, the bearish bias remains, and we want to stick to that. There's clear bearishness in the market, and this could range sideways for a bit longer as well. So the market can do that too. We don't know yet, but overall bias to the downside. The daily candles are showing the same thing. You can see very very, very clear to see the weakness. Very hard moves down and slow moves up, hard moves down, slow moves up. That is a sign of bearishness. Zoom back out again. And that is the monthly picture. You can see still in the bearish scenario. So those are the few that I've picked out for this week. As a high probability, the others I didn't really get on with, didn't like the look of them so much, so I just chose the shortlist. Remember to manage your risk, and as always, pick the one that's within your strategy and risk management and with your methodology. Don't try to enter all of them. You will be taking a bigger risk on your account unless you really size it up properly and reduce the amount, reduce the size of your trade, whether you're going up and down. All right, so that's it for this session. September should be an interesting month. Typically it's quite active, everybody's back and from holiday, and we see more activity in the market, so we could see some real volatility going on. And yeah, stick to your rules and wait patiently for your setup, whatever your strategy may be. So that's the outlook and the bias for September 2022. My name is Dima. Thanks for watching. Comment down below if you have any questions about any of the setups, or you can even post your screenshots if you like. Take a screenshot and post the link, and we can have a look at it and discuss it. So thank you. Hope this helps you get your bias on the market for the coming few weeks. And yeah, trade safe, be well, and I'll see you on the next video. All right. Take care, guys.